Good morning. Looks happy. Looks happy, well adjusted. We'll just keep an eye on it for a day or two and see what happens. It's turning its blooms around slowly. It looks pretty. Everybody looks good this morning. I'm out in the grow room just taking a look at things. Back everybody up a little bit here. I had a viewer ask me about one of my orchids. Said it was a tall cattleya, had a big tall single leaf on it. I've got several like that. This is one with a big tall single leaf on it. This is BLC Memorial Grant Eichler Lynette. I think the one they're talking about is this one with this real tall single leaf on it back here. I think this is the one they were talking about. This is, let me get her out here for a second. This is BLC Merrill's Glory H&R. I believe this is the one you're talking about. Beautiful plant, beautiful plant. Anything that's got Laelia in it, I love. I love anything with Laelia in it. I love the upright growing habit that they have. I love the size of them. I like big plants. I don't have any problem at all with plants getting large, not at all. I love big plants. I think that's the one. This one, which has another great big single leaf sticking up. This is another real pretty one. I love this one too. This is LC Watery Mendenhall. Another great big, the big single leaf sticking up. Doing really, really well. Let me move things around here. Lots of growth. Let me show you my one. Everybody has a plant that just doesn't do well for them, right? Everybody has one plant. I got this plant a year ago, and this plant has been trouble since day one. This one right here. This plant has never grown well for me. It's still not growing well. Even though it grew a new cane, it's not a good looking cane. It's getting the same nourishment as the other plants. That's old scarring, nothing on it. But it's never been a strong grower. It took forever for it to get this growth started, and once it started, it's never grown great. It did put out a massive amount of roots during the summer. I mean, tons and tons of roots filled this pot up, but they too have not done well. They just don't seem like they're doing really well. I don't know if this plant just doesn't hydrate well, or there's something else wrong with it. It's very pale. It doesn't make a difference what kind of nutrients I give it. Anything. I cannot get this plant to respond or change. So this plant is, and I don't water it with the other plants. It stays here on the other shelf. It stays separate. I don't water it with anybody else. I don't let it, I keep it so it don't contaminate just in case. It's been treated with a fungicide before, and I don't think that's the issue. It doesn't show any signs of something of that nature, of having anything biotic. But it's just not a strong plant. You know, when you pick a bunch of babies out of a flask and there's always going to be a couple of runts, this is probably a runt, and it's just not going to be a strong plant. It doesn't have good genetics or something, I don't know. And this is the Iwanagera apple blossom too, which is sad because I really wanted one of these. So I'm on the lookout for another one to replace this with, but this has never been a good grower, a strong grower, and it's not going to remain in my collection very long. I'm probably going to toss it. I would give this away to somebody, but I just don't think it's I don't think it's something I'm doing. I think it's just a poor plant to begin with. So it was never strong. It was a rescue bag baby, and it's never done well since I've gotten it. So anyway, just bring that up. Occasionally you're going to get one that just isn't good. It just doesn't have good genetics in it. You know, a hybrid, especially one that has so many, you know, and a Iwanagera apple blossom has, I don't know, 5 or 6 different species in it or something maybe, or different varieties of plants in it. Orchids crossed together. Because of those genetics, that's a true mongrel, and you're going to occasionally get a runt out of the litter. You're going to occasionally get one that's just not the best of the bunch. I think that's what that is. And when you find something like that, either give it away for somebody else to grow if it's not growing well in your conditions, or toss it and trash it and replace it. Too many orchids out there. Don't worry about that. Don't feel bad about it either. It's not a plant that you want to continue on. It's not something you want to keep propagating, and definitely not something you want to reproduce. So if it's not a good variety and a good specimen or a good example of a variety, and it's not growing well for you, toss it. Don't have any hesitations. Toss it. It's not worth the risk to the rest of your collection, and it's not worth your time and effort. With all the rescues and stuff that I find, and all the plants that grow really, really well for me, having one that just doesn't do well just doesn't make sense, does it? So take that advice and get rid of one. If you have one that doesn't grow well, get rid of them. I was watching Ed's Tag Orchard the other day, and he mentioned that in his video. I think that's a really, really important point that doesn't get expressed enough. Anyway, like I said, I'm out here just looking things around, checking some stuff out. It almost seems sparse in here, I guess, because everybody's spread out now. Everybody's kind of got their own way, their own little holes, their own little nicks. That one is really just taken off on that new mount. See that root on the left? See how it's covered up? There's a green tip inside of it, but it's actually covered at its tip up. It had a green tip the other day, and it's covered the tip up. To me, that's a plant telling me it does not want any water at this moment. Leave it alone. So until the other green tip pops back out, I'm not going to give it any water. It's just sitting there. It's not doing anything. It's not dehydrated. The roots are nice and plump, shiny. See the tip coming out? But this one had a tip, but it closed it off. You can see bits and pieces of it up underneath it. Nothing banged it. It just covered itself up with vellum. So I'm going to take that as a sign that it does not want water at the moment, and I'm going to leave it alone. Same with this one. It had beautiful green tips, but I've noticed they're covering them up a little bit. Like here. They're not sticking out quite as far. Nothing's chewing on them. Nothing is chewing on them. I think the plants are hydrated, and that's just a sign that they're slowing down, and that's one of their ways they're letting you know. Again, I'm new to orchids. Just a year into orchids. I love the new roots coming out on that. That makes me happy. Spikes are doing really, really well. Getting longer and branching. I love that. That one, two, all three spikes have branched. That's real good. I'm happy to see that. I know, not a lot there. I'm just looking around at a few things, so I'm not sure why. She's way up on top up there. I don't know why that plant got stuck up there. I'm gonna put it up there for something, but happy plant. Happy plant. Oh well, I'm going to get busy. Have a wonderful day. I hope that was the plant that the viewer was looking for. If not, let me know, and I'll find another one to help match it, or I'll get into more detail on some of the others. But anytime, happy to show. Have a wonderful afternoon. Get out there and work in your garden. We got a pretty day in Alabama, just a little bit cool. Nice and windy, and you can see the leaves falling. Have a wonderful afternoon.